What if I told you that while everyone's arguing about Trump's latest scandal, he may have just pulled off the biggest heist in American history? And if you're Gen Z or Millennial, he's specifically targeting your future. 3 things happened this week that will destroy your economic mobility forever. But the media only wants you to see one of them. First, new Epstein documents drop with Trump's name all over them. The internet explodes. Everyone's talking about it. Second, days later, Trump fires the prosecutor who's been investigating those Epstein cases. Her name? Maurene Comey. She's only 34 and maybe around your age, and yes, she's that James Comey's daughter. Third, while you're distracted by the first 2 stories, Trump quietly signs an executive order that opens every 401k in America to the same crypto casino that just burned $4 billion. Most people saw the scandal. Some saw the firing. Almost nobody saw the heist targeting your generation specifically. But I'm going to show you how all 3 connect and why this might be the most sophisticated theft of young people's futures in modern history. Let me start with something that happened 2 months ago that should have been front-page news everywhere, but somehow got buried under celebrity gossip and political theater. Trump launched his own cryptocurrency, the Trump token. It hit $15 billion in value overnight. People were calling it the future of money. Financial influencers were telling their followers this was their chance to get rich with the president. Then it collapsed. 80% drop in 3 days. Regular investors lost $4 billion. But here's the part that should make you sick to your stomach. Trump's team walked away with $350 million in fees. They got paid whether you made money or lost everything. And here's what really gets me angry about this story. Your 401k was protected from that disaster. Regulations that have existed for decades prevented your retirement money from getting sucked into Trump's meme coin casino. Those protections? Trump's new executive order removes them. The same casino that just burned $4 billion of regular people's money? Your retirement is about to become their next bet. But wait, it gets worse. Because while that crypto collapse was happening, there was a federal prosecutor building cases that could have prevented all of this. Her name is Maurene Comey. She's 34 years old, so basically a millennial who actually made it into a position of power, and she's been methodically building the prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein's network. Not just Maxwell. The whole web of powerful people who were protected for decades. She was getting close. Really close. This young prosecutor was about to expose the kind of corruption that destroys trust in everything. Then the Wall Street Journal published excerpts from Jeffrey Epstein's secret 50th birthday album. And guess whose handwritten note is right there in the pages? Donald Trump's. Complete with a drawing of a nude woman framing his message. Trump immediately called it fake and threatened to sue the journal. But here's the thing about that response. It's exactly what someone would say if it was real and they were panicking. 3 days after those documents became public, Maurene Comey was fired. But firing the prosecutor wasn't enough for Trump. His next move should terrify anyone who believes in justice. He immediately nominated Emile Bove for federal judge. Lifetime appointment. Who is Emile Bove? Trump's personal defense attorney. The guy who defended him in multiple Department of Justice cases. The same lawyer who helped Trump avoid accountability is now being installed as the judge who would oversee future cases. Think about that for a second. Fire the prosecutor investigating you. Install your own defense attorney as the judge who would try your cases. 900 Department of Justice veterans signed a letter saying this appointment disgraces the department and threatens judicial independence. It didn't matter. The nomination is moving forward anyway. Now, if this was any other politician, this would be the biggest scandal in decades. But here's where the story gets really dark, and this is the part that took me weeks to fully understand. What if none of the drama you're seeing is real? Stay with me on this, because when I realized what might actually be happening, everything clicked into place. Trump and Elon Musk have been having very public fights on social media. Elon's been demanding the full Epstein client list be released. They're acting like enemies, trading insults, making it look like there's real conflict between them. But notice something really weird. Nobody's actually losing money from these fights. While Elon's publicly demanding Epstein documents and criticizing Trump, he just secured another massive government contract worth billions. While Trump's getting attacked by Elon and facing these scandals, his Truth Social stock price keeps surging. Every scandal creates market volatility. Every public feud moves prices up and down. Both sides profit from the chaos, while regular people pick teams in what might be elaborate theater. Think about it. When was the last time you saw billionaires have a public fight where both sides got richer? Here's what I think might really be happening. Trump can absorb any scandal heat, Epstein documents, health scares, legal troubles, if it means he can execute the largest wealth transfer in American history while everyone's distracted. The scandals aren't the problem for Trump. They're the strategy. Create maximum distraction with health scares, scandal leaks, and billionaire feuds. Fire anyone investigating financial crimes. install loyalists in lifetime judicial positions. Then, while everyone's watching the show, quietly deregulate the biggest pool of money in America. $9 trillion in retirement assets. Your money, now open to the same speculation that just burned billions. This is what I call the double play, loot the economy while creating theater to protect the looters. And here's the really sick part. You're already getting crushed financially. Student loans are strangling an entire generation. Housing costs have made homeownership a fantasy for most young people. Wages haven't kept up with inflation for decades. Your 401k was supposed to be your way out. The one thing where compound interest could build real wealth over time if you just kept contributing and didn't touch it. Now they're turning it into a casino where the house always wins and you're left holding the bag when everything crashes. But this isn't the first time we've seen this exact playbook. In fact, it's happened so many times that I can predict exactly how this ends. Let me tell you about Bernie Madoff. For decades, he promised steady returns to investors. People trusted him with their life savings, their retirement funds, their children's college money. When his Ponzi scheme finally collapsed, regular people lost everything. But the wealthy investors who were in on the scheme, they got their money out first. Then there was the 2008 financial crisis. Banks packaged toxic mortgages and sold them to pension funds and retirement accounts. When the housing market collapsed, regular people lost their homes and their retirements. But the bank executives who created the toxic products, they got bonuses. More recently, we had FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried promised to revolutionize finance and make crypto safe for regular investors. When FTX collapsed, regular people lost $8 billion. But Sam's family and friends? They got their money out before the bankruptcy. Every single time, the pattern is identical. Deregulate the system. Market high-risk products to regular people who don't understand the risks. Extract maximum fees while the money is flowing in. When everything inevitably collapses, keep the profits and make taxpayers cover the losses. The only difference this time is the scale and the target. We're talking about $9 trillion in retirement money. That's not just some people losing their savings. That's your entire generation having your economic future destroyed before you even get a real chance to build it. And here's what makes me think this might actually be coordinated theater designed to cover the theft. The timing is too perfect, and it's specifically targeting the wealth-building years of younger generations. Epstein documents surface right when Trump needs maximum distraction. The prosecutor gets fired right when the investigation was getting close to powerful people. The defense attorney gets promoted to judge right when future prosecutions need to be controlled. The retirement deregulation happens right when crypto markets need new sources of money. Either Trump is the luckiest criminal in history, or this is all being orchestrated. But here's the thing that gives me hope in this story, especially for younger viewers watching this. This time it's different. You know what's happening. You can see the pattern. You understand the playbook in ways previous generations didn't. Boomers got blindsided by these schemes because they trusted institutions. But your generation grew up watching institutions fail you over and over. You've seen the 2008 aftermath, the student loan crisis, the housing market manipulation. You're naturally skeptical of anyone promising easy money or financial innovation. So the question isn't whether this is happening. The question is what you're going to do about it. And you have more power than you think. Here's what you can do right now that will actually make a difference. Monday morning, call your HR department. Don't email, call. Ask them directly what protections exist in your 401k against alternative investments. Ask them what the company's policy is on cryptocurrency and private equity in retirement accounts. If they don't know, demand that they find out. Get their answers in writing. This matters because most HR departments have no idea this executive order is coming. When you call and ask specific questions, you're forcing them to pay attention. You're making them realize this affects every employee in the company. You're creating internal pressure for companies to maintain protections even if the federal government removes them. Second, call your representatives. Not just federal representatives, state representatives too. Tell them you oppose any executive order that opens retirement funds to speculative assets. But here's the key, make it personal. Don't talk about politics or policy. Tell them this is about your future, your ability to retire with dignity, your family's financial security. Politicians ignore policy arguments all the time. But when constituents call about their personal financial survival, that gets attention. Third, and this is crucial, share this information with everyone you know who has a 401k or is planning to have one. Most people have no idea this is happening. They're too busy following celebrity drama and political theater to notice that their retirement is being quietly open to speculation. The more people who understand what's happening, the harder it becomes to execute quietly. These schemes depend on public ignorance and distraction. When people start paying attention and asking questions, the whole thing becomes much more difficult to pull off. Fourth, pay attention to judicial nominations at every level. Local judges, state judges, federal judges. These appointments matter more than elections because they're lifetime positions. The judges being appointed now will determine whether financial crimes get prosecuted for the next 30 years. But here's what you really need to understand about your power in this situation. They're counting on you being distracted. They're counting on you thinking this is just politics as usual. They're counting on you not connecting the dots between firing prosecutors and opening retirement accounts to speculation. Don't give them that satisfaction. Your retirement isn't a spectator sport. Your justice system isn't their personal protection racket. Your economic future isn't their casino. The double play only works if you keep watching the show instead of protecting your money. With $9 trillion in retirement assets at risk, we're looking at the largest intergenerational wealth transfer in modern history. The generation that's supposed to inherit economic prosperity, your generation, is instead getting systematically robbed while you're still young enough that compound interest could actually work for you. Here's what's most likely to happen if nothing changes. Retirement funds will slowly migrate into high-fee, volatile assets. Predatory financial products will flood the market targeting people who don't understand the risks. Political spectacle will continue drawing attention away from systematic extraction. By the time people realize what happened, the money will be gone and the people who stole it will be protected by the judges they installed. But here's the best case scenario, and this is why your actions matter. Public pressure forces withdrawal of the judicial nomination. Retirement protection regulations stay in place. Financial criminals face real consequences for their actions. The next generation gets to build wealth instead of having it stolen. The worst case? This becomes the template for every future administration. Fire investigators who get too close. Install loyalists in judicial positions. Deregulate whatever pool of money looks most attractive. Extract maximum value and leave regular people holding the bag. The warning signs are all there. From Bernie Madoff to FTX, this story always ends the same way when people don't fight back. Institutional betrayal and public loss. But here's what's different this time. You know it's happening. You see the pattern. You understand the playbook. The question is whether you're going to use that knowledge to protect yourself and everyone you care about. This isn't about crypto or judges or retirement accounts. It's about whether we build systems that serve people or whether we let people in power build systems that serve themselves. They're not going to stop. The incentives are too big, the potential profits too massive, the protective mechanisms they're installing too comprehensive. But you don't have to let them succeed. The choice is yours. The time is now. This is Clarity AI News, cutting through the fog so you don't lose what's already yours. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if this helped you see through the noise, and remember, they're counting on you not paying attention. Don't give them that satisfaction.